WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. The Monroe County Sheriff's Department and the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation are investigating two shootings near Lackey. At least one of them was officer involved. We also know Coroner Alan Gurley responded to the scene. Our Quentin Smith has been there all afternoon and joins us now with the very latest. Quentin.
Joey, Monroe County Coroner Alan Gurley just left the scene here on McDuffie Cemetery a little over 30 minutes ago. Now, it's been a busy afternoon for Monroe County deputies as they investigate two shootings that happened in the Lackey community. One shooting happened on Old Columbus Road and the other right here on McDuffie Cemetery Road. Monroe County Sheriff Cecil Cantrell says both shootings are related. Now, at this time, there are still more questions than answers surrounding both of these shootings. And investigators are currently on scene, still working both of these shootings, and I'm told MBI is also on scene. Now, we're going to continue to stay out here, and we'll bring you the latest details on both of these shootings as they become available. But again, two shootings in Monroe County, one on Old Columbus Road, another on McDuffie Cemetery Road, and they both are connected. But for now, reporting live in Monroe County, Quentin Smith, WCBI News.
An early morning attempted robbery leaves one man dead and another in jail. Travis Demham is charged with murder and attempted strong-arm robbery. The victim, 66-year-old David Hall Sr. It happened overnight in Okolona on Highway 32 West, just across the street from Fred's. The Okolona police chief confirms there was a struggle in the house, but he's not releasing additional information about what happened or why. Hall's body has been sent to Pearl for an autopsy. We'll continue to follow this story. An anonymous tip leads to an illegal gambling bust in Boonville. Now, 35-year-old Dustin Wilkins is in jail, charged with facilitation of illegal gambling by electronic means, operating a business without a permit, and violation of the tobacco ordinance. Investigators say they recovered an illegal electronic gambling machine, gambling paraphernalia, and over $500 in cash at the on-the-spot game room on North 2nd Street in Boonville. The business has since been shut down and will remain closed until a permit for operation is up to code. 1,500 customers are without power in North Columbus. A utility pole on Highway 45 near McDonald's was broken after high winds and rain swept through the area. This is a look from earlier today. Trees were reported down on Magnolia Circle, 31st Avenue, and Willowbrook Road. However, no one was injured during the tornado-warned storm. Columbus Light and Water tells me that power should be restored any moment in North Columbus. And crews have been working ever since it was safe enough for them to start repairing that pole. Time now to turn things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. He joins us with a first look at our forecast. Keith?
Some impressive cloudscapes out there today. Look at that lowering near Sullivan, Alabama. Christine sends us that. And also in Oktok, Jerry, a view of that wall cloud as it was approaching earlier this afternoon. No severe weather in our area, just a few light showers around, a little downpour near Carrollton. The big time storms, some of which are currently actively warned for tornadoes northeast of Birmingham. All of that, though, is moving away from our area. We are in the 70s, so things are now quiet. We will remain that way as we go throughout the course of the evening. Into the early evening hours, 70s and then some 60s, 50s later on. Overnight lows tonight down into the 40s. And how about this? Mostly sunny to partly cloudy, variably cloudy, let's call it. 50s to low 60s on Friday. Joey, your full weekend forecast in just a few minutes.
Columbus is looking at outside help for storm debris removal. Multiple contractors are submitting bids. But what's it going to cost? Our Riley Livingston takes a look at what the city is planning.
Cleaning up after a tornado is a monumental task. Tree limbs, shingles, and wood still litter the streets of Columbus, and now city officials are looking for some extra hands. But when picking the best fit, several things have to be considered.
One of the things we'll be looking at is the cost of the bid, what the cost of the cleanup is going to be, and the services that the people are going to provide for you. There's a lot of things that has to go into a bid. Somebody comes in and puts a bid in, but they have to have the equipment. They have to have the manpower to make sure that that gets done in a timely, orderly fashion that is good for the city.
It's not going to be cheap, and the initial cost will be coming straight out of the city's pockets.
Well, at this point, we're right now investigating and looking at how we're going to pay for the debris removal in the storm. I mean, I think, people have to realize that the city incorporated probably about $9 to $10 million worth of damage to the city. And FEMA will only pay for 75% of that. Well, 25% of that $10 million is a lot of money for the city to come up with. So we're looking right now into different avenues of how we can pay for that.
The city is waiting for a federal declaration so they can move forward. Even after that happens, it could still be a while before they see any money.
Now that is the great unknown. So we're trying to make sure that we're doing everything right on the front end, and we're doing all the documentation right, because at the end of the day, it's all about documentation. And so that's where it's incumbent upon me and my team to make sure that we're doing that on behalf of the city, to make sure everything is documented and everything is tracked. And so we feel like if we do everything right on our end, at that point, the city's reimbursement can be better on the back end.
The city did approve a bid for a debris monitoring firm, but rejected removal bids due to a timing error. New bids will be accepted through Monday at 11 and will be presented during the regular council meeting on Tuesday. Another cleanup project put on hold is the Columbus Riverwalk. Cleanup won't be able to start until a debris removal contractor is chosen. This is also relying on a federal declaration. FEMA and MEMA toured the area earlier this week. The silt on the sidewalks has to be taken to the dump for removal. They don't want it going back into the river because of environmental hazards.
They're going to have a couple of machines down there that's going to start getting all the slush and all the stuff that's caked up down there at the Riverwalk. So basically it's a team effort down there to get everything cleaned up.
Now, Columbus leaders tell us they see the Riverwalk cleanup as a quality of life issue for the city. Tupelo council members approve a plan that will eventually put security cameras in all city parks. Council members took that action during a special called meeting this afternoon. Mayor Jason Shelton calls it a tool to help law enforcement. Access will be limited to law enforcement investigators and designated city employees. The video will be kept for 30 days unless it's needed for a court case.
It helps us, hopefully it will create more of a peace of mind in our parks, protect the facilities of our parks, and just create a better sense of safety and awareness in our great park facilities here in the city of Tupelo.
The cameras will not be placed in restrooms. Also, people who are in the surveillance video can request to view the footage.
A Tupelo police captain is training for a 250-mile bicycle ride. It's all to honor the memory of a colleague and friend killed in the line of duty. We'll have that story coming up on WCBI News.
Welcome back. A Tupelo police officer is preparing to pedal hundreds of miles to honor a brother who was killed in the line of duty. WCBI's Allie Martin has more on the Road to Hope Memorial Ride.
Tupelo Police Captain Bruce Dodson spends 8 hours a day working as a narcotics officer.
One near 1198 Stranded Motors.
On his off days, Captain Dodson will soon be riding his road bike for up to 8 hours, preparing for the Road to Hope Memorial Ride.
A group called Law Enforcement United sponsors a bike ride every year where they ride from New Jersey to Washington, D.C. over 3 days.
That ride raises awareness of law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty. Captain Dodson will be riding in memory of Sergeant Gail Stauffer. The Tupelo officer was killed answering a bank robbery call 2 days before Christmas in 2013.
Gail was an excellent officer. You know, he was always squared away. He had, he's in the military also. He was always fun to be around. We both had kids, so we talked about things like that.
Dodson was contacted by Sergeant Stauffer's widow, Beth, about taking part in the 250-mile-plus bicycle ride to honor Gail and his legacy. The Road to Hope also provides financial support for concerns of police survivors or cops. That organization comes alongside those who have lost an officer in the line of duty, providing counseling and other programs, including a kids camp for children who have had a parent in the police force killed in the line of duty. This past summer, Sergeant Stauffer's son Skip caught his first fish at the Cops Kids Camp. Stauffer's mother says she is overwhelmed at Captain Dodson's commitment to ride in her son's memory and honor while helping other families who share a tragic and common bond.
Just last summer, there were 173 children at Kids Camp, ages 6 to 15. And that just tells you the breadth and depth of what happens in our country.
The Ride to Hope takes place in May during National Police Week. Captain Dodson has run several half marathons, but training for a 250-mile bicycle ride is something new. But the captain plans to train hard and complete the task in honor of a friend and colleague gone too soon. In Tupelo, Al Martin, WCBI News.
The ride also benefits the Officer Down Memorial Page and the Spirit of Blue Foundation. For information on how, if you'd like to help, it's on our website, wcbi.com.
Some unsettled weather out there today. A pretty nice sunset developing in Columbus. Still warm out there. We are in the 70s as we chug on into the night. We're looking at some 50s and then eventually some 40s later on, turning drier. Your full forecast is next.
Wcbi First Alert AccuWeather Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Some lowering in the clouds today. That was the view near Starkville earlier this afternoon on our Thursday. Impressive cloud structures, yes. We had some rotation going on, and you can see that right there in the Columbus area, and over here a little bit of damage in the Columbus area too with some of those winds that blew on through. Good looking shot there in Sessoms as that storm was rolling on through, or one of several storms rolling on through. A little bit of damage there in Sessoms too with that tree coming on down. This was our Alpha Insurance time lapse from downtown Louisville. We were looking back to the west this afternoon, and that is what we were watching, a rotating storm, that wall cloud right there with that tornado warning storm that just stayed to the northwest of Louisville. We love our Skycam network when we can see images like that and help to forecast things in real time. Live view in downtown Louisville right now. Nothing but sun and some friendly clouds. A little bit of rain still on the radar, but all quiet there in general. Over here in the West Alabama, we're looking to the east where some of those storms are still chugging off to the east, but right now we're doing okay in our area. So the stormy weather pattern is officially over as of right now. Lots of sun is coming our way and comfortable temperatures too. Tonight we get down into the 40s by sunrise. The wind slackens off. Still from the northwest tomorrow at about 10 to 15. Highs in the 50s to around 60. So all things considered on our Friday, a great way to say goodbye to this work week and hello to the weekend. I mentioned a little bit of light rain still falling there southeast of Columbus down towards Macon, but all of the heavier rain now southeast of I-2059, and we still have some ongoing tornado warnings with that storm southeast of Tuscaloosa and this storm right there northeast of Birmingham, south of Gadsden, Alabama, but all of that moving off to the east. We've had a rash of some wind damage and some hail reported around our region today. But that is it. All because of that big system up there in the Great Lakes. What a monster storm system that has been. But now the active weather is pulling away. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds in the region tomorrow. The better rain chances to our south as that system continues to move away and then high pressure comes on in, and that will start to give us some great weather. Here's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. 60 tomorrow. Some of you stay in the 50s. 57 Saturday, 63 on Sunday. Pretty nice next week. A lot of lower 60s there. Cool at night, yes. Maybe a frost threat or two here as we go throughout the next couple of nights, but overall, no major problems.
It's tournament time in the Music City. Ole Miss and State tipping off in the SEC tournament tonight. Previews of both matchups are coming up next in sports.
CBI Sports with Courtney Robb is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Ole Miss currently getting underway in the second round of the SEC tournament against Alabama. And if you remember the last time the two teams matched up, the Rebels, then ranked as the 20th team in the country, took a rather hard fall to the Crimson Tide. The final in that game was 74-53, that game being in Tuscaloosa. Alabama's John Petty and Donta Hall exploding in that game. Two players to definitely watch tonight. Head coach Kermit Davis and his team know the difficulties that lie ahead with this ongoing matchup.
They just out-toughed us, pretty much the whole game. I think they had like 20 offensive rebounds, things like that. They just made the tough, hard plays, during the game, and the score showed it.
Toughness is just a part of the game. That's something that you can focus on. That's something that you can change within yourself. So, don't get outworked and bring your best A game tomorrow.
Really, the only game all year long. In the second half, we weren't very competitive. I mean, it really was, and attribute that to Alabama. They're talented, they're physical, big guards, and so it'll be a tough matchup for us.
Well, Mississippi State, the Bulldogs get set to take the floor right after Ole Miss and Alabama finish up about 25 minutes after that game finishes up. That game should be around 8:30 Central Time tonight. State foregoing the team's scheduled practice yesterday afternoon in Nashville. And now MSU officially will be taking on Texas A&M, a team that they met fairly recently, if you can remember. It was just last week, and it was also the last game of the regular season for State. Bulldogs got the win in that one, 92-81. And given the timing, Ben Howland having a fairly easy time recounting that game.
I was just watching that game of ours right now before I came down here. I mean, the game was a 2-point game with 3 minutes to go in the first half. All of a sudden, Tyson hits a shot, and boom, we got on a great spurt there the last few minutes of the half to get a 12-point lead. I think Tyson hit 3 threes to help, stretch it, because we had Q on the bench and Reggie on the bench at that time, and that group in there really did a nice job. But anything can happen. That's the most important thing.
Well, again, here's some information on the SEC tournament. First, if you're looking to watch any of the games tonight or tomorrow, those will all be available on the SEC network. Ole Miss and Alabama, like I mentioned, happening right now. The winner of this game advances to play Kentucky tomorrow at 6 in the quarterfinals. And then following that game, 25 minutes after it finishes up, Mississippi State will take the floor to play Texas A&M. We'll continue to bring you updates on both of those games later tonight. Well, some signing on the dotted line action over in South Pontotoc earlier today. The Cougars' Kirby Ross signing to continue his academic career as well as his baseball career at Coahoma Community College. Ross currently holds a .79 ERA and has 207 strikeouts in his high school career. That's it for sports. The Last Light Year forecast is next. Stick with us.
WCBI sports coverage of the SEC basketball tournament is brought to you by Wade Incorporated. Bank First, a better way to bank. And visit Columbus, the city that has it all.
All right, here's the big picture. Storms moving away, active weather moving away.
Thank
a little bit
goodness.
of shower activity still around, but yeah, Joey, we are looking at an end to this active weather pattern. We are switching gears now, and we'll see a lot more sunshine than anything else out of the next 7. Seasonable, cool at night, mild during the day is not bad.
Yeah, kind of cool, but hey, at least my yard might actually dry out in the next couple of days.
I would agree we need it.
Absolutely.
Little lakes out there.
Indeed. All right, thanks so much for joining us, everyone. Have a great time.